snap. It's the Oakland Raiders and Houston Texans from Reliance Stadium. It is game 2 of the preseason. With cuts being made next weekend, a lot of players will have to state their case to the coaches tonight if they want to make this football team. Hi, everybody. Bob Allen. I will be your eyes and ears down here on the sidelines. But first, let's go up to the booth. Joel Myers and Spencer Tillman. Guys.
All right, Bob, it's been a slow week to say the least for David Carr. Slow because he's been bothered by a sore Achilles. So David Carr and the overall offensive look for the Texans coming into this game in their second preseason matchup, it could be a real straight-ahead approach.
It could be. I mean, David Carr's got the inflammation in the Achilles heel, and Dom Capers gave us the impression that if he does play, it won't be any more than 11 plays like it was last week against Denver. Again, it's going to be a great opportunity for the running backs, Tony Holland and Varen Morency. These two guys are battling for that number 2 spot. Both will get between 15 and 10 plays each to impress the coaches. Morency's got to hang onto the ball. He did a great job of running last week. Holland's got to show everybody once again that he can remain healthy. Both with a great shot today.
Yeah, it's going to be a very emotional game for one of the newest Texans, a former first-round draft choice of the Oakland Raiders, Phillip Buchanan. Had to be tough earlier this week because don't forget they had a couple of practices with the Raiders.
They did, but you know he's got to be salivating, Joel, at the opportunity to cover the guy Randy Moss, their newest acquisition and star on the other side of the ball. Phillip Buchanan is an excitable guy, folks, but let me tell you, he's also a great player. He can make plays on special teams, but he's a cover guy. That's his skill. What a great opportunity for him to possibly shut down Randy Moss tonight.
So a good matchup, and now can they finally come up with a W? Shante Orr is going to see more snaps after what we saw in the first preseason game against the Denver Broncos, and the same can be said for C.C. Brown. He will be back there in the secondary. Special teams work as well. Stay with us. We'll be back with the starting lineups. Bob Allen at halftime. Larry Nemmers with our coin toss brought to you by Coca-Cola. Raiders win it. Official soft drink of the Houston Texans.
Good luck, man.
So the Raiders with the football to start the game. First time they've met in the preseason. You remember last year. Texans did a number on the Raiders, forcing 5 turnovers, winning 30-17 during the regular season. That's the only time these two teams have gotten together.
North Turner, you're looking at one of the happiest coaches in the National Football League, mainly because he's got the big guy Randy Moss outside. You talk about resurgence of career. How about Collins, his quarterback? He's had a rebirth. He's happy too. That's a good man, North Turner there, brother.
Very good man. I've known him way too long, actually. John Robinson's assistant. There's his quarterback if he can stay healthy, and they couldn't keep their quarterback healthy last year. Rich Gannon going down to number 3. That's why Collins got the job before they even anticipated. He's always going to be able to get the ball downfield. Now will he continue to make mistakes at this point of his career? And that has been the knock against Kerry Collins. For long stretches, he'll look great, and then he'll make a play where you wonder, wait a minute, he looks like a second or third year guy again.
These last couple of seasons running, he's put back-to-back 3,000-plus yard passing. I think he's returning to that old form when he was with the Giants in his heyday. An outstanding player with a new rebirth in his career at this point.
And Dom Capers starting his 4th year. Is this going to be the year the Texans get over the 500 mark?
Sir, nobody's navigated more succinctly than this guy has. He is really a meticulous coach, covering all the bases, all the details. He's on course right now to put this where they need to be. If you want an expansion team, there's your guy, the mentor. He'll take care of you, Dom Capers.
So we are ready to go. Chris Brown sees it up at the 30. Doug Gabriel back deep, but it's going to be taken instead by John Stone, a short one from the 14. Weaving his way across the 25, and that's where the Raiders will start with it. So Stone in his 2nd season out of Wake Forest. Kerry Collins now in his 11th year from Penn State, 6'5", 245, and he's surprised so many people don't forget playing for Dom Capers when they went 12-4 in the 2nd season of the history of that franchise in Carolina. Career numbers, you see, he still isn't over that mark that everybody looks at. Touchdown to interception ratio. Still has thrown 1 more interception than touchdown. We'll set the lineups in just a moment. Lamont Jordan, the former New York Jet, is going to have the first carry. Nice hit on the outside. Moreland Greenwood put him down right past the line of scrimmage. Jordan give him 2 at the most, and it's going to bring up 2nd and 8. Good stick. Got the pads down.
Well, Moreland's an outstanding guy, and this is one of the reasons why you want him on the outside, because he's got the speed to stay with the running back close and contain on the outside. There he is, playing, shedding his guy, getting off the ball, putting his hat, run underneath the numbers. Moreland Greenwood at the play.
It'll be 2nd and 8, ball at the 30. Little misdirection. Big hole for Jordan this time with a hold coming up. Middle of the line, flag thrown. Should come back. It's across the 45. And it'll negate a run of 17 yards on the counter action out of the backfield.
Well, at feast or famine, you want to string those good plays together. One good, one bad. You're looking for consistency at this level. Moreland Greenwood, great play, comes back and hurts him again.
Holding on the defense, number 99. We'll add 5 yards into the run. First down.
That's on the outside. They'll give it to Robert Smith. So fooled us as he got locked up inside.
There's a lot of hands out there, and Robert is going to try to make a reach technique in here, get inside, trying to get away. He gets off the tackle, gets his shoulder upfield, but there's a holding there. It's tough to see in traffic like that. I'm telling you, you got guys trying to reach and grab you. Robert doesn't like anybody grabbing him, so he's going to do what he needs to do to get away.
Well, it is very rare when you see that kind of call. In a 3-4, and the end in the front three gets called for holding. Single to each side. On first down from the 48, Jordan can battle his way to the outside. Gary Walker, Seth Payne stuffed it. Walker finished up. And there's no gain, maybe even a loss of a yard.
Well, a trimmed down Gary Walker there. He lost 8 pounds. He's coming in stiff, and he's going to show you he's got great ability to come in at the point of attack and come right back and close down this area right here. Watch him shed the blocker and get his hat in there and make a play. He's about 8 pounds lighter. He's stealth. He's moving quickly. But one of the things I'm develop, the Texans have got to contain the outside. That cutback lane is still there, backside.
Yeah, he was told by Dom Capers, I want to see 8 to 10 pounds lighter coming into camp this year. And he listened to his head coach. Collins, short drop on the outside. Teo Johnson, the tight end. And he's got a first down inside the 38. Third year out of Stanford. Well thrown ball. 10-yard pickup. And offensively, starting lineups brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers, official vehicles of the Houston Texans. Jordan and Hetherington in the backfield. Moss, Gabriel, and Courtney Anderson. Wide receivers and tight end. Up front, good offensive line. Sims, Walker, Groves, Stone, and Gallery. Gallery, a former first-round pick out of Iowa. He's in his second season over on the right side. And that used to be a real problem spot for the Raiders. The interior of their offensive line. Now it is a strength for this team. From the 38. Lamont Jordan dancing his way inside the 30, bouncing outside, and he's got a first and goal all the way to the 10. Well, the Denver Broncos went 3 and out after that gain of 27 by Jordan. It's a big pickup. Denver went 3 and out, but it was a drop pass. Otherwise, they would have had a first down in the first series.
You know, Joe, this looks like the old counter Trey play that the Redskins used to make famous years ago. The little hesitation freezes the inside linebackers here and is going to allow Jordan to bounce it inside and then hit the outside. He got the ball in the upper arm, making his way to the sideline. This is good football right here. Got the forearm in there on Coleman at the end of the play. Jordan with a great run. The Texans feared this all week long. We saw the size and the girth of this offensive line of the Raiders, and they showed you how powerful they are on that play.
Zach Crockett on the toss sweep. And right in the racing room inside the 10 at the 8. It'll be second and goal from there. It's a good lateral pursuit 3 minutes into the first quarter by the Texans. Defensively, the first 11 for the Texans in their 3-4. Walker, Payne, and Smith as the lineups brought to you by your Texas Ford dealer. Official vehicles of the Texans, Babin, Wong, Greenwood, and Peak. And in the secondary, Buchanan against his old mates, Dante Robinson. The safeties are C.C. Brown getting the start. Glenn Earl still gimpy. And Marcus Coleman. So second and goal. Give it up the middle to Crockett. A big hole. She slams it to the 5. Falls to the 4. It'll be third and goal after the pickup of 4.
He couldn't go anywhere.
Yeah, he's got 4 carries for 47 yards already on the first set for the Raiders. This after he had 3 carries for 15 last week. On third and goal. In the corner. And a touchdown for Doug Gabriel. He took it away from the defensive back, Marcus Fagans. Oh, that was just strength to pluck it away.
Marcus Fagans is that corner that they love to bring in on the nickel packages. But, you know, when the ball is up in the air like that, you got to go get it at his highest point of contact. And the receiver just took it away from Fagans. He's a great cover guy, but, man, that ball is up there, and it's anybody's ball. You got to make a play down there in the end zone.
Very impressive drive for the Oakland Raiders to start the second preseason game for both the Raiders and the Texans. Janikowski with the point after. And a perfect beginning if you're a Raiders fan. 8 plays, 72 yards, and 4 minutes off the clock. So Collins finds Gabriel. Got it away from Fagan. 7-0 Oakland.
This is a poorly thrown pass by Kerry Collins here. His eyes do not lie. He's looking front side right here all the time. Fagan should have a pre-snap read on that. Collins zips it out. Actually, it's underthrown. Receiver just goes right over the top of him. Poorly played pass there. He's in front of him, but you got to go with his athleticism. Fagan has got to go up and get the ball at his highest point. An underthrown ball, and you know what? From a receiver standpoint, nobody likes it any more than that guy right there. Fred Blitnikoff, all everything, the wide receivers coach for the Raiders. He scored a number of plays, many over the years. The Raiders, the silver and black, Fred Blitnikoff.
Hall of Fame wide receiver of the Raiders, 17th season as a member of their coaching staff. It's going to be Swing bringing it back after the Janikowski kick across the 20. And belted and put down at the 24. Well, have it at their own 24, but already down 7-0. Out of the backfield. Short gain for Dominic Davis. Derek Gibson, the strong safety, came up on the stop. Gain of about 3, and welcome back to Houston, Joel Myers, Spencer Tillman, Bob Allen. Scoreboard this quarter all brought to you by Chevy. See your Texas Chevy dealer today. This is looking 2nd and long, 2nd and 7. Billy Miller on the field for the first time in the preseason. 2 tight ends in there, and Matt Murphy on the other side. Some change in personnel, and as soon as I say they're not going to put him on the edge, David Carr on the outside, past the 30, and bumped way out of bounds. No flag. Short of the first down is Brayton. Gambled. That could have cost him 15. It's a gain of 6 for David. Texans don't like it.
Well, they're in there with 2 tights are the Texans, and I thought they were going between the tackles. You got him here on the naked outside, and number 8 can run with the best of them, folks, but I'm not so sure with that Achilles tendon, as sore as it is right now. That's what he needs to be doing. Upfield, aggressive Raider defense at the point of attack, and then again, questionable. I don't think that's as egregious a hit as the fan response suggests, but at the end of the day, I don't think number 8 needs to be running like that.
Well, if it's low, I think he gets a flag. But because he went up top and just gave him a shove up high. Now can they get a yard? They couldn't get a yard in the first drive when they needed it. Dominic Davis, there he goes. He's got the first down past the 40 to the 44. Good leg drive for 11. He was slowed down temporarily. Brought down by Schweigert, the free safety.
A yard deeper, he can make a bigger play than that even. Gives him time to read that defense.
David Carr on the out. A good grab, Corey Bradford. Another first down. And Bradford, good article by John McClain in the Houston Chronicle this morning about Corey. It's time. It's his time. Armstrong out. Gaffney's not played in the preseason yet. And here's a guy who caught 27 last year after 24 the year before. They need more.
Well, see, this is what they need. They need somebody to emerge outside here to take the pressure off number 80 in the backside so that people are forced to play man coverage and he can make a play. He's demonstrated he can do that. Had a great year a couple years ago, but they need someone to emerge consistently to make defenses compromise on their coverage.
From the Oakland 44, another first down with Andre Johnson in motion. And they get the kick out for Davis. He'll take inside. Down to the 40, a gain of 4. Boy, at a convoy. He stayed getting the start at right guard. Todd Wade, the right tackle. From the 42nd and 6. Checking off at the line. Andre Johnson working against an end. And he made a pay. He had the mismatch and he recognized it. He was going up against the outside backer on that side. And boy, did he take care. That's a good read by David Carr. He had Grant Irons up against Andre Johnson.
Houston native Grant Irons is a talented guy out there, but David Carr sees the quick route. The hitch is open. You get this guy right here, one of the fastest receivers in the National Football League, open one-on-one with some room to work on the boundary. He's going to make you pay for it. Great job. One of the things you're going to see 80 moving a lot in motion this year, something you haven't seen. Here he goes right now, trying to work him in space and getting open.
On first down, Dominic Davis, and it's going to be a flag right away on the play. Brought down to the original line. Thrown by the umpire. And it's going to be a hold.
Holding defense number 99. 5 yards added into the run. Automatic first down.
Yeah, the tackle, and we talked about him earlier with Bob Allen. He's heard from early, but for the wrong reason, as Murphy comes up limping a little bit. Well, Warren's, he's underneath again along with Ted Washington. Bobby Hamilton, Tommy Kelly in their 4-3. Tyler Brayton, Danny Clark, Red Iron. So they've gone back to the 4-3. Asamuga, Woodson. The corners with Gibson and Schweigert, the safeties.
They're vacillating back and forth between the 3-4 and the 4-3, which could be causing some problems, not just for the Texans, but other teams they'll face through the course of the year. I think it's a good idea.
David behind the line to Johnson. And Andre lunges. Woodson got him low, but still plus yardage inside the 25, down to the 23 for a gain of almost 5.
Now, see, technically playing that run and pitch, and he squares up, closes, shows great ability at the point. Carr had to navigate around a couple of pressure rushers up front. The offensive line need to shore that up, but Johnson, after contact, gets about 3 or 4 more extra yards, and that's big time, folks. Put you in a better situation than being 2nd and 10 or 2nd and 9.
Jerome Mathis, the speedster, 4th-round pick, in for the first time. Same side as Andre Johnson to the slot. They look that way. It's Mathis. He's got it. He's got a first down. Down to the 16, maybe the 15. So there's his first catch as a Texan.
Number 13, nothing lucky about this right here. You're going to see him. You talk about working on the outside of the field over here. When you get one of the fastest guys to run a 4.26 at the combine, reportedly one of the fastest times ever run in space to the wide side of the field, he's a dangerous guy. And he also showed you there he can not only just return, but he can catch the ball at the line of scrimmage as well.
Spread the defense a little bit more now. Both tight ends go wide. Murphy to one side, Miller to the opposite. Interesting configuration. First down from the 16. Flushed out. Into the end zone, in and out of the hands of Johnson. Well, the safety got in front of him. Schweigert distracted him enough, and then it got into the body of Andre Johnson.
Well, he had plenty of time, did David Carr, but I thought on that the out was there. The shake. Number 80, Johnson had him in the slot. His eyes was wanting to release the ball, but he had to step around pressure. Did David Carr upfield. He finally loses the ball, gets it away. Tipped at the last moment. Johnson's looking for it. He can't find it. Did a great job of splitting the defenders and trying to find a way to get open back there. Yeah, keep your head up. It's kind of tough to tell number 80 to do something better than that, but he keeps his head up, man. He probably makes that play.
And Carl calling the line on an audible. Dominic Davis gets the call. Empty move. They get inside the 15 to the 11. Now it's going to be 3rd and 5 on a very impressive drive, mixing up run and pass. Spencer started all the way back at the 24.
Well, I don't think they're necessarily as dominant as the Raiders were, but one thing you can say, they're consuming the clock and they're running their offense, and that's a lot for defense to consider. I like what the Texans are doing.
Drive has already taken better than 6 minutes, and now 3rd and 5. Carr looking over the middle. He's got Johnson. Great grab. 1st and goal to the 2. The safety trying to keep up with Andre Johnson.
Here's Carr looking downfield, and the beautiful thing about having 4 wides in this offense down here, it forces the Raiders to play man coverage. And I'm telling you, one of the toughest things in the National Football League to do is to cover a man with that kind of skill in the slot one-on-one for any length of time. Great catch.
1st and goal from the 2. Texans trying to get even. In the eye, Dominic Davis behind Moran Norris. Davis, left side. Bottled up, and it was the linebacker, Kirk Morrison, who got him low and then got help. But a good stop by Morrison. No gain.
Unlike last week against Denver, Bear was in the game down here on the goal line situation with Bear Smith, the big defensive end, and you don't see that down here now. So what are we looking at? This is an opportunity for the fullbacks to stake their case. Norris, Baxter, they've got to find a way to punch the ball when they get down here in the 5-yard territory to score.
It's the 14th play of the drive, Spencer. 7 runs so far, 6 passes. You talk about keeping it even. That is balance. 3rd and goal. Carr in the corner. Bradford in and out. Knocked away in the corner of the end zone. It was Gibson, the safety.
Bradford's going to go up for the ball here in the back of the end zone, but I like the way he fights for this ball. I love the aggressive call here. Little fade stop, turn your head inside. That's just good there, but Bradford goes up. I like not going to your go-to guy. Everybody thinks you're going to number 80 down here. It's great to get in the consciousness of defense that you will go to your second and your third receivers when you need a touchdown. This is good planning here.
3rd and goal from the 2. Will they be frustrated once again with the first-team offense like last week? Carr out of the edge. Looks, Bradford's there. Touchdown! Texans, and give it to Reggie Swinton instead. What a bullet from David Carr on the move.
I think what he really did to impress us all is the movement there on that play to elude the defense, make that pocket move along with you, and Swinton did a great job too of finding the void between the 2 defenders and splitting the difference and sitting the ball down in the back of the end zone.
Chris Brown with the equalizer. So we are almost 12 minutes into a first quarter that is flying by, and Reggie Swinton, who's trying to make this squad as a 5th or even 6th wide receiver, comes up big. It's even at 7, and we'll be back to our line after these messages and a word from your local station.
The play here, you see David Carr movement on the run, moving the pocket automatically, finds his receiver. Swinton in the back does a great job of settling down back there for the touchdown.
So Reggie Swinton adjusting, reading his quarterback perfectly. Guy that played for the Cowboys, been with a couple of teams now. He's trying to stick with the Texans. We already saw a couple of good returns by Reggie last week. And great balance. 43 yards from David Carr through the air on 6 of 8 passing, and 33 on the ground as Brown kicks it away. It'll be Gabriel. Will he bring it back? Yes. A yard into the end zone. The wide receiver. Only to the 24 and out of bounds there. Yeah, they'll give him an extra yard or 2, it looks like. So they'll put him out at the 26, and we'll come back. It's tied at 7 after these messages and a word from your local station. Other great prices as well, so head on over to the website, abc13.com. Hetherington split the backfield, and they'll run the little middle screen for Lamont Jordan. It almost worked across the 30 out of the 32 for a gain of 6. So Moreland Greenwood staying at home. He's in on the stop, but not a bad idea to run a play like this early.
Well, I like the timing and the development of it. Moreland Greenwood's in the middle here, and this is why they brought this guy here, because he's got speed and quickness. But as you'll see it set up here, it's a slow developing screen. Pressure up front, exactly what you want from the offensive side of the ball. But here you got to make that tackle. Lamont makes it miss. Greenwood in space has got to make that. That's one of the factors that they thought he could come here and bring that they've been missing in a couple of years prior.
And you brought up Kylie Wong. You said it. He's got to make that tackle. Lamont Jordan, and a flag on the plays. We're going to get a holding call. I believe it's going to be on the center, Jake, number 64. We'll see. Umpire threw right at his feet.
Holding offense number 64. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
Second-year man out of Virginia Tech. They've used some draft choices in recent years on their offensive line, and it's paid off.
You know, Frank Beamer wouldn't have been happy with this. They don't teach that there at Va Tech. But again, hold and reach. When you get a man that comes across your face, you want to make sure your running back has every chance to make plus yardage there. He just got inside and held on a little bit too long.
It's all tangled up. 4 minutes into the game, and the Texans had an answer. And almost an 8-minute drive. 15 plays, 76 yards. And that's where we stand right now. On 2nd and 14, Collins on the out to Gabriel, and a short game, Buchanan. Sure, he didn't get away at the 29-yard line. 1st and 10 line brought to you by Wendy's. Do Wendy's. Do what's right. And now, can the Texans get a stop on 3rd down? Pocket holds up well for Collins. Too well. And deep down the sideline. Great grab by Gabriel. He's got it. Touchdown, Oakland. 70 yards, led perfectly by Kerry Collins. It has not been a real good start for DeMarcus Fagans tonight.
Well, Fagans did a poor job, first of all, on press coverage here. The pad is a whole lot there. He turns his shoulders. You never give up and turn back on the quarterback on the sideline away from play. The ball has got to be live all the time in your mind as a cover corner. Fagans took his eyes for that flash second. That's all it takes. Quarterback read it as well as Gabriel, the receiver. End result 6.
Why would you ever stop until you hear a whistle?
Well, that's just bad football.
Janikowski with the point after. And now the Raiders are 2 for 2. So that was a 74-yard drive and making it look way too easy in the process. 14-7 Oakland. We'll come back to Reliant after these messages. And a word from your local station.
I like mobile device user accessing and using our new and easy website for the latest news, sports, weather, traffic, and much, much more. Want it now? Get it now. That's what it says. Just enter the abc13now.com in the browser of your cell phone or PDA. Did I mention it's free? Did I mention that?
It sounds good to me, Bob. Glad you mentioned it's free. Well, it's a 14-7 lead, and it's a frustrating start for that young man. Tony Banks takes over. He was 4 of 9 for 62 yards last week. He'll give it off. Well, that was a shot on Tony Hollins.
Well, Warren Sapp, I'll tell you what, he's getting a little long in the tooth, but that big fella can still move and motor inside of that 3 technique in that interior of that defensive line for the Raiders. He's so quick.
That is a picture of fitness. So when you talk about the 7-time Pro Bowler, there you go. That's quite a profile.
I heard when he gets on the scale, it says to be continued. Look at that. Oh, man.
He'll be wearing 3 digits soon. It'll be second from the 26. Casper into the game for the first time, as well as Kendrick Starling. Press coverage on the outside. Mathis trying to get away, held up by Woodson, and Woodson grabbed him beyond the 5 yards, draws the flag. He was trying to, well, you saw the press early, and he was trying to stay with it.
And see what you saw on that last play.
Number 24. 5-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
You see a seasoned veteran out there. I don't care how talented you are if you're Woodson on the corner. When you get a guy with Mathis speed outside, you're going to try to get an extra jam in there. This time the official caught it was a little bit too long. Number 24 is a playmaker now. He's got a Heisman Trophy to prove it. But when Mathis is out there with that blazing speed, you got to get every advantage you can. An extra jam, a hand inside. You know the official's behind you. It costs that time.
So an automatic first down on the 5-yard mark-off. Texans have it 1st and 10. David Carr is through. They had him in there 11 plays last week, 15 plays on the opening drive tonight. The 26 snaps of the first 2 games for David Carr. You look for a guy like Carr and some of the other starters on the offense to play most of the first half in preseason week number 3. Mathis trying to find anything. It was read pretty well by the Raiders. Not much out in front to help out. And there is a flag once again. Maybe a yard at the most for all that running by Jerome Mathis.
Well, Dom told us he was going to try to get him in a situation because he hadn't been able to practice where he can see what he can do, and he certainly showed us some speed there.
Options belong to the Raiders this time.
Illegal formation. The tackle, number 71, was not covered by an end. That penalty is declined. It'll be 2nd down.
Yeah, the defensive coordinator should be a familiar face to Houstonians. That is Buddy Ryan's son, Rob Ryan, the defensive coordinator for the Raiders.
Rob Ryan is an outstanding talent. He's got that aggressive mindset that his dad had running at 46 that made him so popular all those years that you can see all over the league now. Disciples of that style of aggressive play.
You know, last year, without the proper personnel, they were 30th out of 32 teams defensively. So they'll give him another year. Then we'll find out how Al Davis really feels about it. First quarter is complete. And what a first quarter offensively. Raiders 2 for 2. Texans scored on their own lead. 14-7 Oakland after the first 15 minutes of play. On 2nd and long, Banks back to throw underneath and throwing behind his fullback Moran Norris. So it's going to be 3rd and 9. That's the first snap of the 2nd quarter. Joel Myers, Spencer Tillman, Bob Allen. Welcome you back to Reliant. Tony Banks on his first series, his first drive of the game. Very time-consuming drive by David Carr. So unusual for preseason football. We had a fast first quarter. That means we'll be in quicksand for the next 3.
But I think the Texans were very efficient. You talk about the first scoring drive there. 43 yards came via the pass, 33 the run. That's the kind of balance that can win you games in the National Football League.
You know, the Texans didn't do a good job. 5 of 14 of the third down tries against Denver. Can they convert on 3rd and 9? Banks in trouble, and there's the sack. It belongs. Number 95, Joseph, coming up with it. And Jasper, rather, out of Texas A&M. The former Aggie gets to him.
Well, it doesn't matter if it's Tony Banks back there or Gone or Card. Doesn't matter. You need to protect the quarterback, and it's got to come from up front. Sure that Jasper showing you great action on a little stunt, little twist stunt in there. Banks just can't avoid the pressure. Jasper at the point of attack making the tackle.
And now it should be good field position for the Raiders. Chad Stanley will punt it away. Doug Gabriel, the deep one for Oakland.
Oh, good ball, Chad.
That is a beauty by Stanley. Turns it over all the way to the 20. And we got a flag coming up against Oakland, I believe, as well. So it's out to the 28 near the 29 after a 53-yard punt. Deshaun Polk down there on coverage.
One of the many active.
During the return, number 30. That penalty will be enforced from the spot of the foul. First down.
Starting safety Schweigert. The offense on the sideline after, well, they picked up a first down, but it was by way of penalty. So basically 3 and out with a punt. Tony Banks' first time out there. From the team, Kerry Collins stays in at quarterback. 2 for 2. What a start passing wise for Collins. He gives it off to Lamont Jordan. Is this guy going to be an every down back? 4 years with the New York Jets, backing up Curtis Martin. A gain of 2 that time. As we look at the Reliant first quarter power numbers, brought to you by Reliant Energy, proud to be the power behind the Houston Texans.
That number right there is the one that's really impressive, Joel. That 8, the first downs. You can take time off the clock. It gives your offense confidence as you matriculate the ball down the football field. This is what this team needs to do.
Matriculate.
That's right, baby. One after another. Graduate down the field.
From the 18, it'll be 2nd and 8. Collins short drop. Fake going deep against Gabriel to the first down mark. Really shy by about a yard. Out to the 25 for a gain of 7.
Plenty of time.
Collins hasn't missed yet, has he?
He hadn't missed because he's got so much time. I mean, this guy's a veteran player here. You give a veteran quarterback time to know the field. He's got from a pre-snap read. All this field to work with downstairs. You've got loose cover 2 type coverage way off of the outside receiver here. That's just easy pickings. Too easy for a veteran quarterback like Kerry Collins.
Collins is now 6 of 6 for 105 yards. Something's got to happen here. Granted, it's the preseason, but the Texans have their first team defense out there. Jordan shifting over to the left side. Can he get there? I think they stopped him. Good gang tackling after they stood him up at the original line of the 25, and he is short. It'll be a 4th down coming up. Boy, the Texans needed it too. Bottom of the pile, Babbins over there, along with Pete.
It didn't look like he got through our virtual first down line here. The play's going to come right here in the middle of the field. Texans at the point of attack, taking Jordan, wrapping him up. A lot of Texans bodies around the ball. That's good football and defense.
Reggie Swinton waits back at about the 35 for the punt from the rookie out of UNLV, Gary Cook. One of the best in the NFL, a Pro Bowler, Shane Leckler. Leckler is, everybody down here knows him, only 90 miles away, played for the Aggies. Low line drive, returnable one for Swinton. From the 45, can I find a block? Can I get a witness?
So nice.
Across the 45 to the 49. Leckler, though, had a leg problem earlier in the week, and his preseason week number 2. That was only a 34-yard punt. It's a great field position when we come back for the Texans. Now can they capitalize with 11:49 left in the half? We'll find out with the Raiders up by 7 after these messages and a word from your local station.
As the ball comes down, you're going to see the funnel that effect happens when Swinton stems this. And when I mean stem, I'm talking about stopping just for a moment, gets the defense going this way on the coverage unit, then watch him reverse his field, giving his guys angles to get back up forward. Now he gets north and south, back up the field. That's a great job of making a low line and kick, which has been a great return. A great job of shoring the ball, getting up the field to compromise that coverage unit.
So now can they make the most of the opportunity, though, Spencer? They've got it at the 49. Banks, second series. They stall the time. And we're going to see Sloan Thomas for the first time as well. But first, a toss sweep as they string it out wide. It's going to be a loss for Hollins. He's bumped out by Clark. The linebacker got up in a hurry. And it's a loss all the way back to the 46. A loss of 3.
Well, the Raiders are doing defensively what the Texans would like to do, and that's make plays on the opposite side of the ball. Too much penetration up front by our guys, not allowing Tony Hollins to do what he can do once he gets the football in his hand. We have got to shore up at the point of attack. I know they're aggressive. They're heavy loads up front. Our Sapp and Washington, but we've got to do a better job there.
They double up Casper. And Jerome Mathis on the same side. Banks in trouble right away. The dump off to his safety valve. Hollins only to the 50. He got 4. It'll be 3rd and 9. Boy, the pressure all of a sudden takes Banks out of what he wanted to do downfield.
You don't have time to look at secondary receivers. That was a little arrow route in there, and Hollins was the guy all the time. But you want to look for that secondary receiver. Casper was over the top, but he didn't take that arrow route enough. Get that coverage man off of him. He jumped on Hollins. The play never had a chance.
Casper has been with 4 teams already. He's got a ton of ability, but will he be able to make it finally with the Texans? 3 wide receivers set. No snap. 3rd and 9. Banks sets up the screen. Hollins covered in a hurry. And once again, the linebacker read it perfectly. Coming up to make the play to Lawrence Grant out of Oregon State.
Well, they're taking the page from what the Raiders were effective to do. But Grant does a great job here of closing. Banks showing on the play action. Gets it off. But underneath, you're going to see Grant close on this play big time. He's coming in from the outside of your film there. Does a great job at the point of attack closing on that play.
So frustration for the Chris Carr waits for the punt. Chad Stanley. You get the ball to the 49. You want to get at least a first down. If you can get 2, you're already in field goal territory. Stanley, as he hit it to the end zone, yes. He's been the best over the last couple of years of getting it down inside the 20. Not that time, though. There's a flag, though, at about the 42 of the Raiders. It'll be a hold, but I think it'll be post-possession.
Holding number 91 during the kick. That penalty will be enforced from the 20-yard line to the 10. First down.
So the call on the Oakland Raiders. Tyler Brayton scoreboard this quarter. All brought to you by SBC. Going beyond the call. Well, register now for your Houston Texans MBNA card. Receive a $50 Academy Sports and Outdoor gift card. Chance for many great Texans items. To register to receive your card, visit HoustonTexans.com for that Texans MBNA card. Okay, the Texans going to stop, get it back in great. They're down 14-7. Lamont Jordan off balance, but still lumbers his way across the 15 out to the 17. Let's get the latest downstairs. Bob Allen.
Jerry DeLoach, the defensive lineman, left the game in the first quarter. He had to.
Cal backing up Seth Payne at the nose tackle spot for the Texans. But too good a yardage, by the way, Spencer, on first down.
And Jordan made a poor read and still got up the field, and that's just bad tackling at the point of attack.
And that's the first team defense still out there. Jordan trying to slip outside. Good pursuit that time. Good play all the way around. Greenwood on his back over there as well. It was C.C. Brown.
Tell you what, Jordan looks lively. I guess it happened with Tyrone Wheatley, to another ex-back that does a great job after he came from the Giants. A little isolation play here, sucking in that defense, the linebackers, and he does a good job of bouncing and getting his shoulders turned upfield. Not a real sexy play. You look at it, only a couple of yards, but that's plus yardage, and he's a heavy runner, attacking that Texans defense up the middle and then bouncing it when he needs to.
Texans, and making the Raiders, rather, 2 of 3 on the third down tries. They only need a yard. They got Hetherington, the experienced fullback, in the eye. And a play fake for Collins with Hetherington uncovered for a first down. He's got it across the 25, so nobody accounted. Dante Robinson came over, but too late. It's a gain of 7.
And that's one of the things Norv Turner's going to do. He's going to throw to his big 44, his big fullback. They did it a lot against San Francisco in their opener. Out of the backfield, you're going to see him leak into the flat right there off the play action pass. Great job of seating the ball. You only want to throw it to him in the flat, okay? not a lot that can go wrong in that because he's going to fall down after he catches it. Norv Turner knows that. That's the reason why he's not going to throw to him too much.
You got Dom Capers on one side, a defensive guy. Norv Turner, an offensive guy. He's been an offensive coordinator in the league for not only the Cowboys before that with John Robinson and the Rams. So extremes when you talk about the two head coaches we just saw.
Yeah, John Robinson, his days with USC, I remember the great running backs he had over the years, and later at the Rams with Eric Dickerson. Just a great guy. He coached me in the Senior Bowl many years ago, and he'd feed you the ball a lot, man. He'd love to run it.
You're right, though, with your assessment. He is a great guy. Jackson Owen and I used to do a show at Rams camp down in Fullerton. They had a little middle school they worked out of.
Wow.
And our set was under a tree. That was it. It was a big budget show. Collins in trouble. Comeback route and a completion helping him out. It was Moss, and Moss is in for the first time. There's been a cloud hanging over Andy over the last couple of days.
Well, there's been, and ironically on this last play, you know, you got pressure coming. Moreland Greenwood does a great job, but you got to have not just pressure, but you've got to have closing on the backside here. Moss still catches, makes a 9+ yard advantage there. You got pressure up the middle, but you got to make it pay off on the outside. Bring pressure, you got to cover.
Collins now 8 for 8, 121 yards. It'll be Collins again. Will his luck run out? Yes. Too tall. Jordan barely got a hand up into the air. Tracking him, Kylie Wong. Good coverage that time.
That's right, and that's one of the assets that Kylie Wong is going to bring you. He's the bigger of the two inside linebackers, but having moved from outside inside, number 52 can run with even a guy as nifty as Jordan has shown so far tonight. He's right in his hip pocket right there at the point to break the ball up. Kylie Wong's an outstanding talent, smart guy. He's not going to make mistakes inside. He's the battery mate with Moreland Greenwood. They're outstanding pair.
Well, that's where he had his experience at the outset of his career. When he came up and was drafted out of Stanford to Minnesota, he started on the inside. In the eye, it'll be 2nd and 10 from the 39. And a dead ball foul coming up. Ball start on Oakland.
Now the ones are still in.
Delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
Came for the back judge, so the delay of game was 6:34 to play in the half. Raiders' most penalized team. You look over the last 10 to 15 years in the NFL. Turner tried to clean it up last year, but they still get their share.
It's in the blood, man.
Or the water.
You know, no, the ones are still in here, Joel, and we've seen an inordinate amount of penalties so far. I mean, you expect the 2s and the 3s to do that, but despite the first quarter going quickly, we've seen an awful lot of penalties so far in this game.
Now it's going 2nd and 15. Collins with too much time again. Man, looking over a couple of options. Goes to his wideout. It's Alvis Whiting. His 8th year from North Carolina. 11 yards on that completion.
You're going to see gaming and dealing going on right here by the Texans, and that's what allowed Collins to get up here. You see the turnaround, wide berth on the approach to the quarterback, gives Collins a seam in the middle of the field, gives him a little bit too much time. The Texans, the deals and the games have got to be quieted on those type plays. Too much time for number 5.
Well, that's been a concern. The Texans have got to be able to get to the quarterback, and they haven't. This system has worked before. They've been able to get to the quarterback, whether it was used in Jacksonville for Tom Capers, Carolina. Now Collins in trouble, and the Heat pay it off. Gabriel coming across the middle. Couldn't get to it. And it's Kylie Wong.
There's Kylie Wong again. He's showing you he can get to the quarterback in number 52. Just pressuring both Wong and Moreland Greenwood on either side will walk up. That lets you know they're coming. Here comes Wong here. Pressure rushed through his man. That little 20, that back is not big enough to stop him. That's Vargas. And he puts his hat right on Kerry Collins, who's forced to get the ball away. Kylie Wong at the point of attack. That's what the Texans need to do if they're going to make plays defensively.
It'll be Gary Cook. Any better this time? Yes. Good hang time. Swing from the 11. They set it up for the left. The return works from the 30. What about the punter? Can he slow him down? Enough that they catch Swinton from behind. Good job. Williams saves the score. And the Texans have something cooking now after the return of 57 yards.
I remember when he came in the league early on, he's going to show you his speed upfield. Swinton with the Dallas Cowboys set an NFL record for his rookie campaign, over 1,400 yards in total returns. He showed you he's got elusiveness, speed on the outside, can change direction. Got the ball in the proper hands, seating it, making a great move upfield. Swinton making the kicker miss. That's outstanding football.
Well, it's a situation we were talking about at the very top of the telecast. When you look at the breakdown, how many wide receivers are you going to keep? This guy gives you latitude because he brings back punts and kicks. Hollins dashing his way across the 30 out to the 28. But back to what we talked about at the very top of the telecast. Making something happen on specials to assure yourself a spot on the roster. Well, and Reggie Swinton is doing that right now.
Swinton is doing it, and we talked to
7. Hollins is a single. Banks with Casper on the outside. Get a big cushion. Working up against the corner. The rookie, the former Houston Cougar, brought him down.
Casper, though, he's showing you, man, he didn't get ghost on that play, but he can do it. He's been making some outstanding plays in practice, and this is the guy that you got to keep an eye on, because if someone's going to make this team, we talked about at the top of the show, he's this year's Kendrick Starling. Casper is an outstanding guy, looks like Tarzan, but he needs to play like Tarzan and like Jane today if he's going to get a roster spot.
All right, no noise in the background and no vines in the neighborhood. Stanford route, though, did bring him down, the former Houston Cougar. And they get 2. Need it. Hollins slotted right at the first down marker. It looks like he may be short by about the length of the football, though. Derek Gibson, the strong safety up there. So both teams have elected to go with the first-team defenses.
And speaking of Tarzan, how about this? Flexing on you. That's Casper, guys. You wouldn't want to. You want to go to war with this guy, I think. Look at that, man.
It didn't work.
Muscles on top of him.
Didn't work for David Boston, did it?
No, he just got too fat, though.
So now they will go for it on 4th down. Norris in front. Tony Hollins. 2 tight end set. Casper the only wide receiver. Did they get about 1.5 foot? Hollins? I don't think so. Tripped up behind the line, and the Raiders take over with good penetration.
That's just great defensive play up front by the Raiders, sapping of all that mess there, clogging it up. You know what? I'm not trying to coach for Chick, but I'd back in those close situations. I'd back up and give him ability to see the field and the backside cutting lanes. I know it's a short yardage situation, but as you come through here, you want to be able to come back. Even though you got contained, because there's a little soft spot backside, you can hug that line as it moves and get upfield and get plus yardage.
Well, that's got to be frustrating if they don't pick it up, and I don't think they did after what happened last week with 4 snaps inside the 2 on the first series of the preseason. Failed to get a touchdown. And now, and we've seen it, they have not been able to finish over the first game and a half.
You've got to get heavy down here, and you've got to make defenses respect the fact that you can go toe-to-toe with them. You're just outside the red zone, and you showed them last week, as you alluded to, they can't get down there on the goal line. 4 tries and came up short each time.
Raiders still by 7. We'll come back after these messages and a word from your local station.
Joel, in as many weeks, too, you've got to be able to get that in short yardage situation. We saw what happened against the Denver Broncos on the goal line. Coming here, Banks reaching. Your running back has got to get plus yardage, but you got to get help up front. You cannot allow penetration. That will kill you down here. It's not just a confidence issue, but it's an execution issue as well. It's going to hurt you not on this play, on this series, but the remaining series. It affects how Chris Palmer calls plays down here. This team has got to get that corrected.
Yeah, that's one thing Tom Capers mentioned to us. They were pleased with a lot of things, but they weren't pleased with the way they could not finish drives.
It's all about finish down here. This is a game of inches, and it's cliche, but it's so true in the National Football League.
Collins stays in at quarterback. Trying to get another screen set up for Lamont Jordan. Man does it effectively. He's got a first down. Huge block by the offensive lineman downfield for the Raiders. And that was the right guard, Brad Badger. Did he ever get one?
You're going to see this is what the Texans need to do. Take a page out of the Raiders' protection. They're going to sell it big time, the screen. Collins looks opposite, goes the direction to freeze the linebackers and get them flowing out of the middle. Jordan seats the ball well and gets upfield. The Texans are there around, but after 6-7 yards plus yardage, that's a little bit too late.
Breathing room. Lamont Jordan, check that. The new back, Zach Crockett. They've got, he was the tailback for him before. Now they've got him listed as fullback, and occasionally he will line up. in front of Jordan. We already saw that tonight.
And Joel, if you don't think that how you perform on given series affects the offensive coordinator's ability to make call, you saw Greenwood, and also you saw Kylie Wong make plays upfield rushing. And so what do the Raiders do? They come back and run screen action to deter some of that.
1st and 10 line brought to you by Wendy's. Do Wendy's. Do what's right. Collins for his wide receiver. A short game. Albus Whited once again. Dante Robinson staying at home on that play. So it's tied to the 44, and that's the final snap before the 2-minute warning. When we come back, it'll be 3rd and a little less than 3. Raiders had their way offensively, though. They lead by 7, and we'll come back after these messages and a word from your local station.
Get back on the football field. Yeah, Kylie Wong's been part of it, but they've got to be more consistent.
It's the 5th series for the Oakland Raiders, and over the first 4, they've only had 3 and out with a punt. Otherwise, they've picked up at least 1 or 2 first downs every time they've had it. Collins deep down the middle. Albus Whited again for a first down inside the 35. So the pocket protection is there. She is brought down deep in the secondary. It was C. Brown.
Well, you can only cover so much of the field, and I don't care who you are. If you protect the way the Raiders are protecting right now, they're going to beat you downfield. It's a simple game of math. You give me 5 seconds or more, I'm going to beat you if I'm Kerry Collins with the type of protection I'm getting. Particularly in the middle of the field. This is where the exposure is going to come from here. Kerry Collins seeing the ball well. You see all this space right here? All the receiver has to do is find the difference, split it between the defenders, because the Texans are playing zone defense, and Collins is going to pick that apart every single time with that kind of time to prepare.
It's a deep drop of the zone as well.
Yeah, it was. And I think what that speaks to is, number one, the coverage was compromised, and then the Raiders had protection.
So what a first half for that young man on the receiving end, but a brilliant beginning for Kerry Collins. You got to give the credit to the offensive line, and this is what I was talking about, way too much offense for the Oakland Raiders. Now 70 came on one play, but it was a beautifully thrown ball by Collins to Doug Gabriel, his wide receiver, victimizing DeMarcus Fagan. Collins out of the gun. This is not what he does best. Throws back towards the line of scrimmage and away in the direction of his tight end on that side, Courtney Anderson. Smart play, though. See, he's not that mobile.
Yeah, he's not that mobile, but again, you're getting the kind of protection he is. Now, the only thing that saved this play is Buchanan is on the outside here playing soft coverage. He does a great job of closing, doesn't turn his back like Fagans did on the 1 touchdown exposure that he had, but that's what saved that particular play there. Still, no one ever touched Collins. No one on the Texans defensive line touched Collins.
Offensive line for the Raiders last year, 6th best in the NFL. They gave up only 30 sacks. And that's with Kerry Collins. Collins again. Time deep down the middle. Same result. So the middle of the field victimized this time by Randy Moss for 14 yards. So they'll stay with a hurry-up offense. They won't use a timeout with the clock moving. A minute 15 to play in the half. Raiders try to add to their 14-7 lead. No pressure on Collins, and the out goes to Albus Whited again. He's got 8, almost 9.
Well, Kerry's done such a great job of spreading the ball on either side of the field, and then they've mixed up also with the delayed draw and the draw on the wide screens. And, you know, here again is where the exploitation is taking place all across the field, and the Raiders are just having their way with this zone coverage that the Texans are playing right now. They're exposed defensively.
So they'll be second, a little less than 2. Ball at the Texans 12. Single to the backfield, Justin Fargas. There's college ball first at Notre Dame and then at USC, and a dead ball foul coming up. It's going to actually be again delay of game on Collins.
Delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
So it's not the offensive line with the problems right now. It's just getting everything together on the play call. And they had plenty of time on the out. That stopped the clock. And the Texans will stop it
helping the Texans, and he's put that experience behind him.
Well, they love Rich Gannon. And when Gannon was hurt, it ended his career 3 weeks into last season. Too many expectations early. But Collins, 14 of 17 so far today, 191 yards. Pocket holds up, and a pick at the goal line. Coleman's got it. Marcus Coleman comes up big, took it away from Randy Moss. Did they ever need that one?
John Hoke's loving that one. Watch here. The ball's going to come right here in the middle of the field. Randy Moss is going to work, and they'll stutter step, but Coleman denials, not just a River and Jordan, brother. He picked it and clean, didn't he? And he's headed the other direction. That's great defensive play and anticipation on the ball by Coleman. Now you seat that ball and get upfield, my friend.
Takes it back to the 20. Couple of timeouts on the board for the Texans. Can they make something happen now? Banks, third consecutive series he has been in there. Tony Hollings. Warren Sapp waved at him as he went by on the end. And that same side against the Texans.
I think that was Fred Weary.
Offense number 70. 10-yard penalty.
Good call. It was Fred Weary. Loaded off the line. Yeah, did he shoot gaps?
Man, he was quick. Great shot putter, too.
Banks out of the gun after the mark off of 10. Hollings, delay doesn't fool anybody up front for the Raiders. Tommy Kelly out of Mississippi State. And right now, this deep in their own territory.
I'll tell you, aggressive and strong inside.
Now they'll go with a no huddle. Banks out of the gun. The bullet over Casper's head. Dangerous throw at that.
Well, that was an ill-advised pass. Casper didn't have a shot that. He had 3 receivers around him and then one in his hip pocket as well. Got to get it out of there if you're the Texans.
3 wide receivers in the set, but it'll be Hollings again trying to make a miss. Only across the 15 and the 16, and the Raiders will stop it with 19 seconds left. Total yards on the 14. Pressure on Stanley. The wobbler taken by Carr at the 48. And can he give Janikowski some space? Good blocks down the sideline. Look out. He's got it all the way inside the 25. Did they ever set it up? And he showed patience. Give Carr credit. He waited. It's all the way to the Texans 22.
He can do it all.
It's going to be a 39-yard attempt on what should be the final snap. A very strong first half for the Oakland Raiders. Janikowski, they'll put him up by 10, and it's good. So the Raiders head to the locker room with a plus, and that is a +3. And now they have their biggest lead in the game by 10 at 17-7. That's the end of the first half of play here at Reliant. 17-7 Oakland. Stay tuned. Bob Allen coming up next with our time show. All brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers, official vehicles of the Houston Texans. As we continue from Reliant after these messages and a word from your local station.
Collins and company, and just moments ago, George Atkinson had a chance to speak with Raiders head coach Norv Turner.
Guys, I'm here with Coach Turner. Coach, 17-7, you got to be impressed with the offense. 265 yards, 30 plays, and much improvement in the red zone from last week.
Well, the 2 things that I think, to be a team, you have to play well on both sides, and they got to drive early, and then our defense settled down, and we stopped them. Offensively, we did a good job. I mean, we made big plays. We ran the ball. That's what we're all about. You know, last week we felt we played real well in the first half, but we didn't finish. This week in the first half, we finished.
But what can we look for in the second half?
Well, we got a lot of young guys that are excited. They're yelling and screaming in the locker room. They want to go play. So I'm excited to watch them.
All right, Coach, thank you. Back to you guys.
All right, George, appreciate it. And the Texans will have the football at their own 28-yard line.
Be interesting to see who plays quarterback here for the Texans. They've had some real injury problems at the quarterback position as we take a look at Tony Banks, who's starting off the 3rd quarter.
All right, so as you're right, it is Tony Banks who took over David Carr after the 2nd series offensively of the football game for the Texans. Little confusion as they open up this 3rd quarter. And again, it's Tony Hollings. And the third-year player out of Georgia Tech gets all the way to the 38-yard line.
I tell you, those bounce-back plays that sometimes get stopped at the line of scrimmage, and then the runner bounces outside, sometimes go for long yardage. You take a look at number 38, Kevin Curtis, from his free safety position. Watch him bounce up in here and then bounce outside. Sort of a misdirection play by accident.
So first down with the football out at the 39, or make it the 38-yard line. Tony Banks, who started 78 games over 9 seasons, and again on the ground, Hollings, and there's a penalty marker down at the 40.
You're going to see a hold here on number 51, Tim Johnson from the Raiders. He's not the guy that held. He got held.
Offense number 47.
Watch this.
10-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
Jared Baxter, the fullback, bangs out on Tim Johnson, but grabs him, and he didn't have to.
Well, I'll tell you, even though there was a penalty, I like that tackle by Stanford Rout there. Came up, nice hit. They'll be backed up all the way at the 29-yard line. So it's going to be first down and 20.
Some different players in for the Raider defense. Basically, the second-team defense is in the game.
So Banks, first and long. Play action. Here comes the pressure. And he threw it away. Akbar Baja-Biamila was breathing down on the quarterback, Tony Banks.
You know, that's what you want to see. You want to see a lot of these players played a whole lot. You know, get some playing time in, get better. As Artie says, after each week, see some improvement because they might have to step in for somebody that gets hurt somewhere down the road. They've got to be ready.
Raider first-round draft choice, Fabian Washington, number 27, from the University of Nebraska. The fastest players in the National Football League.
Yeah, he has unbelievable speed. Second down and 20. Banks, near side, and incomplete. Jerome Matthews, some footsteps.
And that's
going to be third and long.
And that's a tough catch. High, running the route over the middle when you know the safety in the corner are closing in on you. It's really hard to hold on to sometimes because you hear those footsteps. You see somebody out of the corner of your eye bearing down on you, and he just wasn't able to hold on to it.
And Stanford Rout, number 26, does an excellent job of closing in on that and providing those footsteps in his ears. Now you got two of the young corners from the Raiders playing right now. Rout, number 26, and Fabian Washington, number 27. Rout, University of Houston.
All right, so Banks operates out of the shotgun. Raiders rush 4. And Banks hit, but he gets it away, and it's incomplete. Kendrick Starling, second-year player out of San Jose State, had it in his hands, lost it, and again, Stanford Rout right around the ball.
Yeah, 3 straight plays by Stanford Rout, all very good ones.
You know, you talk about quarterbacks in the NFL. It's a hard way to earn a living. You see Banks just get drilled that time by Ryan Riddle, number 57. Now, here's the end of it, and as you mentioned, Jim, good play by the young rookie from Houston.
Boy, you got to feel good for him. He has so many people watching him in person tonight, family and friends, as the very electrifying Chris Carr is back deep. Boy, what a run at the end of the second quarter to set up Janikowski's field goal. And a high kick, and Carr will have to fair catch this at the 30-yard line. 13 minutes and 21 seconds left. Third quarter, there's a penalty marker down with the score 17-7. And a marker down right at about the 35. All the way at the far sideline. And you see the official, Larry Nemmers, pointing towards the Raiders side of the football.
Number 43 of the kicking team went out of bounds on his own. That's a 5-yard penalty that will add to the end of the fair catch.
And a timeout on the field. Third quarter action. It's the Raiders on top 17-7. Tui Asasopo at the controls when we come back on the Raiders television network. Priest Holmes, Trent Green, Dick Vermeil brings his Chiefs in the
You know, the problem with the suites is that when you sit in one, you never want to sit anywhere else.
Got that right. Crockett, the second man, and he takes the pitch from Marcus Tuiasosopo. And look at Zach Crockett lower his head, and he drives all the way out to the 38, maybe the 39-yard line. Marcus Tuiasosopo, 10 of 16, but the interception was a costly one as it was returned for a touchdown by the 49ers. And Tui glad to be back on the field to start this third quarter.
Yeah, absolutely. He wants to redeem himself for the mistake he made last week. Just threw it a little late, able the defender to pick it off and go for the score.
Style's a little bit different, as we all know, than Kerry Collins. A lot more movement type passes when he's underneath the center.
Justin Fargas, the running back. Play action, rolls, wide open, and Fasci has it. The first-year man out of Georgia Tech across the 45, first down yardage, and he's tackled out of bounds at about the 48-yard line.
That's a really tough play to cover. You fake the one run where the fullback goes out in the flat. Usually he's left all alone, and just very well executed that time.
That's what I was talking about in terms of movement passes with him. And, you know, we take a look at Fasci there. He is 6'4", 270 pounds, and he is a load. And I mean that in all due respect as Taylor Johnson gets in to his tight end stance.
First down, just shy of midfield. And Tui again will look to throw. Look out, pressure on, and they have him back at the 38-yard line. The pressure came from the outside, and they get to Tuiasosopo. Anderson on the stop for the Texans.
Chad Slaughter, the left tackle here, just misses him. And Anderson does a good job on a dip move and a rip move and comes underneath Slaughter, gets to Tui. Tui did a good job of holding on to the ball. There's nothing like a backside hit, Jim, to jar the ball loose.
Sure, you never expect it. Sometimes you don't feel it or sense it. And the ball sometimes gets away from you.
Football at the 38. They have to get all the way to the 2-yard line of Houston on a second down. And again, the pressure. Screen set up Fargas. Fargas accelerates. And he stopped at about the 48-yard line, and it's going to be third and about 10.
You know, that's a real Norv Turner type of call. You know, you don't want to get in trouble by picking it up on one play. He runs the screen pass to Fargas, picks up half the first down yardage. Fargas follows blocks real well, cuts back. Just can't quite get away from that last tackler, number 59. But, you know, you only want to pick half the yardage up. You don't have to try to go for it all.
Look at that, 279 total yards to just 96 for the Texans. And it's 17-7 for the Raiders here in the third quarter.
Raiders gave up only 217 a week ago, so Rob Ryan's got to be pleased statistically with his defensive start.
Tuiasosopo looking for Johnny Morant. And he has it. Morant, who had 4 catches last week, has his first tonight at the 35-yard line, moves the chains, and a Raiders first down.
You know, he's in the mold of a Randy Moss and Jerry Porter, big guy out of Syracuse, and he's really getting to show his stuff this year, this preseason.
You know, you take a look at Tui looking down the field. It looks like he's zeroed in on Johnny Morant all the way. Morant runs a deep curl. The ball is thrown perfectly. He catches it, holds on to it. Looks like last week.
Tuiasosopo has the Raiders moving here in the third. Alvis Whitted, top of the screen. Down to the bottom of the screen is Morant. Play action. Tui with a lot of room. Tui will tuck and go, and he is inside the 30, out of bounds at the 29-yard line.
So he's presented a lot more different problems than Kerry Collins did. He gets outside, he can run for yardage, unlike Kerry Collins can. And all of a sudden, instead of being zeroed in on the pocket, they've got to go chase him out to the corners of the field.
You know what? That guy, as a drop back guy, as you said, Jim, and Mr. Movement here, Marcus.
All right, Fargas, Justin Fargas, and Fargas able to split 2 tackles to move forward for a pickup of 3, maybe 4 on the carry.
You know what's good about this drive, Grant, excuse me, is that the Raider offense got themselves into a hole. You know, it was first in a bunch.
That's right.
Second in a bunch. But now, you know, just like you said, Jim, not trying to get it all back at once. They're methodically moving back down the field.
And a yard. Fasci lines up in front of Fargas. In motion, Morant. Fargas. And he has the first down. Justin Fargas to the 24-yard line. Clock moving with 8:50 left, third quarter.
You know, good job blocking on the left side of the Raiders offensive line. Halsey and Slaughter are in there now. Left guard, left tackle. Enough room to pick up the first down.
Back in at the center position. Another Nebraska alum. Did a good job of throwing the block that time.
John Stone goes wide right. Johnny Morant wide left. Whitted, the third receiver. 13 first downs for the Raiders. Tui, pump fake. To the end zone. And it's picked off. Picked off by Jason Simmons, the 8th-year player out of Arizona State. So the second interception of the night for the Texans, and they'll get the ball.
You know, and Tui's been around long enough to know that you never throw late over the middle. You know, 99% of the time something bad's going to happen. The safety read his eyes, made the play easily.
That's a perfect play. That's covered gold, which is man coverage with the free safety sitting in the hole, trying to do exactly what he did there, reading the quarterback.
7 Raiders, Texans football when we return. And the running back position on a first down at 10. And hole. Across the 40. Does the 360 and moves forward to the 42. Well, Doug Gabriel with 2 touchdown catches on the evening, and he's with our George Atkinson. George?
All right, guys. Big night for you, Doug. 4 receptions, 89 yards, 2 touchdowns. You and Collins are in sync with each other, huh?
Kind of, sort of. That's what it seems like. So, I mean, let's keep it going, I guess.
You know, talk about the first touchdown. Seemed like it was an interception. You came up with the ball.
I mean, we've been practicing all week. Just, you know, the quarterback got to have confidence. So if he's going to put us up, we got to go up and get it. If he don't get it, nobody else get it.
Second touchdown, the bomb, the play that everyone likes to see stretching the field. I know you like running the deep routes. Talk about that route.
Man, that was a good route. He seen the corner sit. He just came back with 73. And I just kept it going. I mean, I had to kick it in high gear when the ball released.
You know, you look at this receiving crew, and it could be one of the best in football. Talk about the guys that you're playing with.
Man, I think, like, every day, if you feel like you ain't out there you ain't going out there with your A game, it's like, man, I know I got to go out there with my A game because you got Moss, you got Jerry Ford, he's be back next week, and it's like, now you got Whitted, me, Curry. It's just like a lot of people's there. It's like, man, once it's your chance, you better take it.
All right, man, thanks for your time. Back to you guys.
Thanks a lot, George. Play action, Banks. Now plants, ball batted down. You know, one thing that's interesting, I thought the ball hit the ground. They say no, and it's picked up.
You know, Grant, I think it just came out of his hands. I don't think the ball got batted. I think it just slipped out of his hand. And we'll check it out on the replay.
Well, if that's the case, Jay Foreman out of Nebraska is the one that picked it up.
You know, let's take a look at it. Now, watch Banks come back. It looked to me like the ball slipped. Nope.
The ruling on the field is an incomplete pass, second down.
Yep. Okay.
Guys, we heard Doug Gabriel talking about practicing all. And of course, many of those practices were right here in Houston. First time the Raiders have done that in a while. Talk about that, because it's, again, they used to do a plunk when you were there. Tom Flores talked to me that, you know, they had a couple of.
Please put 7:03 on the game clock. 7:03, please.
Talk about they had practices with Cowboys when he was coaching. But what do you think of that?
Well, you get to practice against different players, number one, different techniques, different defenses. So it gives your team a lot of good practice in that regard. The quarterback gets to see a lot of different coverages from different players. You get so used to practicing against your own guys sometimes that, you know, becomes routine. So it's good to get away and practice against somebody else as long as you can stay healthy.
And, you know, I thought the Raiders and the Texans did a great job and a smart thing of not wearing pants. In other words, they weren't in padded pants. It was just shorts, helmets, and shoulder pads. So that controlled the intensity a little bit and cut down on the risk of injury. But the other thing that I like about it is, number one, is the intensity in practice is a little bit higher than it normally is. And two, it really gives your special teams good opponents to work against.
All right, third down, 13 for the Texans as it's the Raiders with a 10-point lead. Banks, here comes the pressure, but it's picked up by the Texans, and Banks throws for a first down. Making the catch along the far side was Mathis. Jerome Mathis, the rookie out of Hampton, with his third catch of the night.
And Mathis was one of the fastest members of, or one of the fastest collegiates at the Combine this year. So he is playing against the guy, Fabian Washington, who was the fastest guy at the Combine. So Fast wide receiver against fast defensive back.
And the young man needs to tuck in his jersey. This is the National Football League. Banks, near side, complete. And Sloan Thomas. And he makes the move to get to the outside. Run out of bounds by Carr and Tim Johnson.
Active player and a very good special teams player.
All right, second down, 5. Morency, big hole. Foot race. And hit from behind, but not before a big gain. Kevin Curtis caught up with him and rolled him out of bounds at about the 10-yard line.
Bernard Morency, 5'9", 212, a rookie out of Oklahoma State. Now watch what happens. He hits it right up in here, but what really freezes the defense is the fake back there. That's a nice give it or go type of offense.
So it's a 1st and goal. The football just over the 10-yard line. Banks looks like he's changing at the line of scrimmage with the Texans down 10. Morency hit right at the line of scrimmage. Making the contact first for the Raiders was Jay Foreman.
Jay Foreman used to play for the Texans right here in Houston.
42 starts. And then he was cut at the end of last year, much to his own dismay.
Boy, he's not happy with the way he was treated.
That.
And he was one of the top 5 leaders in tackles for this Houston Texan team.
You know, one thing he did say, though, it's about the business aspect of it. And he was a victim, quote, of a business decision. He still wasn't.
Morency in motion on a 2nd down and goal. Banks looking. Pressure. And he threw it away, and that's going to be a 3rd and goal now for the Texans.
And that's a veteran quarterback making that move, knowing he can't squeeze it in. He's running to the sidelines to the right. Good pressure by the Raiders. He gets outside, gets away from the pressure, but he throws it away. Doesn't make a mistake of an interception, tip ball, or anything like that.
Banks.
California.
All right, so it's 3rd and goal. Raiders rush 4. Pump fake, Banks. And he's going to be dropped at the 13, and the Raiders defense holds. A nice series there. Great job as coming up through the gut was Hawthorne.
You know, and right there, you know, you don't ever want to get sacked when you're in field goal range, but they're close enough that even if he does get a short sack, they're still within field goal range.
Antaj Hawthorne, the Raiders' 6th round pick out of the University of Wisconsin. Barry Alvarez, the head coach of Wisconsin, called him the best defensive lineman he has ever coached.
And a timeout on the field.
Take a look at Rob Ryan. He's got to be pleased with the stop here down in the red zone. Not happy about some of the yardage given up, but definitely pleased about potentially holding them to 3 instead of 7.
And in text messaging your choice for who should be the next Raider to go into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Just text the number 86212 on your cell phone, and you could be just by text messaging. You'll be able to take 15% off of your next purchase at just log on to Raiders.com. Jim Plunkett, Ray Guy, Cliff Branch, and boy, wouldn't it be great to see Mr. Al Davis putting a yellow jacket on one of you gentlemen with a nice introduction speech. 7-7, and the field goal is good.
You know, you talk about Al Davis in the Hall of Fame, Grant and Jim. He's introduced 8 people, 7 Raiders, and Lance Allworth from the Chargers in his career.
Chris Snyder with the field goal. It's a 10 game. A field goal. Boy, you talk about the Raiders in the Hall of Fame, as we've been talking about that throughout the evening. And a long list that we think should grow, but boy, look at that. Otto, Blanda, Brown, Upshaw, Politnikov, Shell, Hendricks, and of course Mr. Davis. And it goes on and on. What a list of great players in the National Football League
Hall of Fame. And I'm like you though, Grant. I hope it gets added to. There's a case for Jim Plunkett, Tom Flores, Cliff Branch, John Madden, Ray Guy.
All right, it's Stone at the 5. John Stone. And a good run back close to the 30-yard line.
Up in there. Good job by the big guy from Clemson.
All right, Fasci and Fargas in the eye behind the quarterback, Marcus Tuiasosopo. Raiders with the 7-point lead. And offsides by, I thought there was some contact from the defense. They blew the whistle before the snap. False start.
Number 8 on the quarterback. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Punky used to get away with that all the time, man. Hey, Bobby.
I never bobbed my head. It was just the intonation of my voice.
Yes. The best one ever, though, was John Elway, wasn't he?
He could do it.
He could do it pretty good, especially from the shotgun.
So that's a 5-yard penalty. Makes it 1st and 15. Vargas. Not much, a gain of 2 on the play. And clock moving with 3:25 left, 3rd quarter. As we look ahead to the 4th quarter, we should point out that the rookie quarterback out of Arizona State, Andrew Walter, is not playing tonight. Hopefully be back next week with a groin injury.
Right. You know, everybody I'm sure was looking forward to seeing him tonight after his performance last week against the 49ers, but he's pulled his groin, and he thinks it was on that play that he got away from some defenders and threw the touchdown pass to Randall Johnson. So he's going to sit out a week and hopefully be ready by next week.
See him there with his headset on, trying to learn, even though he's not participating.
Ball batted down, incomplete, and it will be 3rd down and 13. All right, let's get downstairs and check in. George. All right, we'll get back to George in just a little bit. A little bit of technical problems down there, and with the football at the 25-yard line. It's still 3rd and 13 for the Raiders. 2:49 left, 3rd quarter. At a 17-10 Raiders lead.
This is called the prevent defense if I've ever seen one.
Boy, no kidding. 3-man rush. Tui step flag down, incomplete, and almost picked off. And there's a penalty marker down at the 24-yard line.
They just threw a little bit too high for. Couldn't see who the receiver was.
Might have been an illegal formation.
Illegal formation on the offense. The wide receiver was covering the tight end. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
But the tight end's supposed to look at him and say back off, isn't he? Isn't that the rule of thumb?
Well, usually the receiver turns to the referee and asks.
Says, am I okay?
Yeah.
All right, so the Raiders will punt it away. And it's Swinton. Swinton makes one miss. And he pushes forward close to the 45-yard line of Houston. Timeout on the field. 2:30 left. And you're watching the Raiders on the Oakland Raiders television network.
The two here at Fred Bolitnikoff on the right, Hall of Fame, talking to new offensive line coach on the left, Jim Coletto. Jim Coletto comes to the Raiders this year from the Baltimore Ravens.
And a new quarterback is Dave Ragone. Last year he was the 3rd quarterback for the Texans. And the left-hander will go up top immediately. And incomplete, pass interference. Penalty marker down. And Washington is going to get called for the flag.
You know, there was a case to be made in watching that. It could have been offensive interference, too, because there was pushing on both sides.
Interference. Number 27, spot foul, automatic 1st down.
And when we take a look at the replay here, watch Fabian Washington. He's doing a good job of keeping inside leverage, but he turns. Well, his hands on him. That's the official. The call by the official is the correct one. I think this rule needs to be redefined eventually because there are going to be too many pass interference calls during the regular season. Right, that's just my opinion.
That's a 1st down at 16. Morency, the running back, the fake. And they give to Kevin Casper. And Casper is inside the 10, and Casper is very close to a Texans 1st down.
That was the counter play now of the play that Morency ran for a 35-yard gain before. Watch here. This
time they give to Morency, and he is very close to the 1st down. Again, he only needed less than a yard. And the clock moving. A minute 35 remaining 3rd quarter.
And just to mention a little bit something about the new quarterback, Dave Ragone. He played in NFL Europe last year, and he was
in for the Texans on a 3rd down. First down, Morency, and he's to the 5, and it will be first and goal for the Texans.
Excellent tackle that time by number 52 from the Raiders, Kurt Morrison, the rookie out of San Diego State.
He is a good-looking player, isn't he?
Smart, heady player. Bishop O'Dowd High School up in the Oakland area. Played for one of the most famous coaches in the United States, and Paul Perrinon at Bishop O'Dowd.
All right, so it's first and goal for the Texans. Nothing doing. Morency ran right into the hands of Jay Foreman. Then Jay Foreman wrapped him up and throws him for a loss. Boy, Foreman coming back to Houston has looked very good.
Well, you think you know some of these players or not?
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Yeah, I'm sure he does. You know, they probably picked his brain a little bit during the week in preparation for this Texan team.
Take a look at Foreman here. The thing I liked about what he did is, as you said, wrapped up. You know, so many times defensive players don't wrap up.
And Morency gets to the 4, maybe the 3. Got a good lead block along the way from his fullback, Jared Baxter. And that will do it for the third quarter. 15 minutes of football left. And it's the Raiders on top, 17-10 on the Oakland Raiders television network. 17-10, the Raiders with the lead, and boy, they took the opening kickoff and went right down the field. Kerry Collins and Lamont Jordan working to Magic. Jordan with 62 yards on the ground, and then Doug Gabriel with his first touchdown of the evening. That would make it 7-0 in favor of the Raiders. Collins would hit his first 5. He threw 2 to Randy Moss, and across the middle, wide open Alvis Whitted. Collins spread it out, but this 70-yard strike to Doug Gabriel with the touchdown. 2 touchdowns, and boy, Collins impressive as you now look at rolling out the lefty, looking to the end zone, incomplete. But how about Kerry Collins, gentlemen? 14 of 18, 191 yards and 2 touchdowns.
It's not bad for a half. It's not bad for a full game, actually.
The thing I like about it, though, is the utilization of many different components on the offense, as that B-roll just showed. Plus, the deep vertical pass to Gabriel. You know, that's the things that Norv and the offensive coaches have been preaching since the end of last year that have got to happen.
4th down, and Tom Capers sends the field goal unit on. Norv Turner's defense again holds in the red zone, forcing Houston to try for 3 instead of 6. And Chris Brown. And already for a kicker of that magnitude, I call that a chip shot.
Yeah, because last week it was proven to us that there's no such thing as a chip shot.
All right, it's a 17-13 lead for the Raiders.
Now you can get in great shape, build muscle, and you can do it fast. All you have to do is dial it up. Turn up the results with the Bowflex Select Tech free weight system. Now you can dial up the weight you want, anywhere from 5 to 52.5 pounds on one single dumbbell. Want 15 pounds? Just turn the dial to 15 and start lifting. Ready for 40? All it takes is the turn of a dial. Now you can get powerful biceps, a sexy core, even chiseled legs in an easy 30-minute workout. Call now to order your Bowflex Select Tech free for no money down and payments as low as $5 a month. Order now and we'll include this free DVD, Secrets of the 4-Step Rep, that teaches you perfect free weight technique. It's time to turn up your results. Call and get your Bowflex Select Tech for just $5 a month today.
Calling the Mach 5. Come in, Speed. Trixie, calling the Mach 5.
I'm in the middle of a race, Trixie. Don't talk to me now.
Speed, listen to me. The bridge is out ahead. You're in extreme danger.
The bridge is out?
Don't worry, Speed. I have good news.
Tell me, Trixie.
I just saved money on my car insurance by switching to Geico.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Here we go. Take a big deep breath. Fasten your seatbelts, folks. These fans are right now. This is what they've been waiting for. This is the start of it right here. Ready? We are set to go. All right. What a way to start the football game.
No fear for 60 minutes.
See that article about Roethlisberger hanging up the cleats? Wants to be a rapper. Fact, J.P. Losman is the reincarnation of Kenny Stabler.
Free fantasy football at NFL.com.
17-13 Raiders. We're in the fourth quarter, just underway, and Chris Brown will kick it deep. Carr and Stone back deep. There is Stone.
You know, when you look at John Stone in street clothes or in sweats or whatever, he just looks fast. You know, without even running, he is fast.
All right, he'll block this time, though, for Carr, and he's 3 yards deep. And a nice run back, and he gets to the 27-yard line. And, boy, you look at Fabian Washington, Stanford route, the corners, and Kirk Morrison, the third-round pick out of San Diego State, having himself an outstanding game. We saw Andrew Walter a week ago who excelled.
You know, you take a look at this class, and legitimately, they all have a chance to make the team in some capacity. And, boy, that's a great job by the personnel department at the Raiders, especially those top 4 guys, because they all have a chance to make an impact.
Marcus Tuiasosopo still in at quarterback. Fargas. And let's get back down. And, boy, what a patient offensive lineman Jake Grove is. He's still with George Atkinson. George?
Yeah, guys, I'm with Jake. And, Jake, last year you started at guard. This year you're back home at center. Talk about the comfort level, what it means going back to a familiar position.
Well, I'm excited about it. You know, it's great to be back playing center. I've learned a lot since I came in last year. And, you know, I'm ready to, you know, be a leader on this team and, you know, hopefully get us to the Super Bowl.
You know, you talk about leadership. You are the leader playing center. The offensive line looked like it's really coming together. Talk about the continuity of this line and how you guys are coming cohesive.
I'm excited about it. We've got some guys in new positions, but, you know, they've come a long ways. I've come a long way since we started this thing back in April, and, you know, we're all excited about it. You know, we've got a couple more preseason games. We played a lot tonight, and, you know, we've got a little ways to go, but I think by the time we get to the Patriots, we'll be ready to go.
You know, you dominated the defense tonight of the Texans. Practicing against them twice, does that have anything to do with the familiarity and you being able to just pretty much manhandle this defensive line?
Definitely. You know, it's really a strange situation. You don't usually get to practice against a team the day before the game. So, you know, it was a good experience. We learned a lot, saw some things we don't normally see in practice. And, you know, I think we have all come a long ways the last couple days.
Okay, man, thanks for your time. Back to you guys.
All right, and again, Johnny Morant making a big play. And, boy, speaking of the sideline, Steve Wisniewski not able to be with us tonight. He'll be back on Friday when the Raiders are home against the Arizona Cardinals. But how about Johnny Morant? Another fine game after the 4 catches last week in San Francisco.
Yeah, short route, actually, but he was able to elude the defender, turn it up the field. They had a blitz coming, and they were able to pick it up and give Tuiasosopo enough time to get him the ball quickly, which allowed him to get away from that defender.
Stone, bottom of the screen in motion, and he has it, but the containment is there, and that's called staying at home by the defense, as making the stop for the Texans was Charlie Anderson. We'll have that game for you on the Oakland Raiders television network. It's the Raiders and the Cardinals.
You know, it's a busy week at the Coliseum because Friday is the Cardinal game, Sunday is the Raider Nation celebration, and then the following Thursday is the last preseason game against the Saints. So 3 opportunities in a 7-day period to come to the Oakland Coliseum.
12.5 fourth quarter. Johnny Morant, bottom of the screen in motion. Justin Fargas. And Fargas is inside the 40. He's going to be down at about the 42-yard line.
Justin Fargas out of USC, transferred to USC from Michigan, out of Notre Dame High School in Thousand Oaks. But take a look at him. It's a little delay up inside, and he does an excellent job of following his block. John Paul Fasci does a good job of sealing off the hole.
And a great weekend next week. We got football on Friday, the Raiders celebration on Sunday.
That's what I was saying. I mean,
yep. I mean, you're right. I mean, it's a big weekend.
In 7 days, big weekend.
Yeah, you're exactly.
Fun games.
Theo Johnson, and he's going to be stopped short.
You know, I think he had that first down, but he tried to make a little bit bigger play than he should have. Should have just turned it up the field, got the first down.
Yeah, I think that was the case, Jim, of him not knowing exactly where he was, which happens sometimes on the field. But you're absolutely right. He ought to get up the field. And being a Stanford guy, he ought to know exactly where you would think. We're, of course, talking about Theo Johnson, the Raiders' second-round draft choice a couple of years ago out of Stanford, played on the Stanford basketball team.
Well, we're going to see Sebastian Janikowski attempt a long one. This will be a 52-yard attempt. Certainly well within his range. No good. Interesting, you know, and not to make excuses, but Shane Lechler normally holds form. Timing's a little different with Marcus Tuiasosopo. I'm not saying that's why the kicks missed, but hey, these things all in the kicking field goals. We'll be right back. 17-13, Raiders.
Tony, most people want to get in better shape, but they just don't have the time.
Well, Stacy, what if I told you in just 3 20-minute workouts, only 1 hour a week, you can increase your energy levels, strengthen your heart, reduce your stress, and shape all the muscles of your body, all with one quality machine? Would you be interested?
Yes, I would.
Well, Stacy, I have good news.
Tell me more.
I just saved a bunch of money on my car insurance by switching to Geico. Yeah, baby, you can do it.
Geico. 15 minutes, 15% or more on car insurance.
Imagine you're an NFL quarterback. It's snowing. You're down by 6. Playoff spots on the line. You're on the road. Your thumb is throbbing. You see the blitz coming. Still think you can play quarterback?
Madden NFL 2006.
Rated E for everyone.
EA Sports. It's in the game.
Tonight on NFL Total Access, we check in on the progress of the Jacksonville Jaguars by firing up Jaguars camp for Dat Dude. Marcellus Wiley will join us on the program, as will Aaron Rodgers. How is he learning at the knee of number 4 in Green Bay? How advanced might Aaron Rodgers be in his progress? We'll fire up Packers camp for the quarterback, as well as go his inside training camp with the Seattle Seahawks. That's NFL Total Access tonight at 7.
I'm Norv Turner, and you're watching NFL Network.
Well, we would like to wish Raider Hall of Famer Jim Otto well wishes from the Oakland Raiders and the Raider Nation at large. Jim recovering from some recent health issues, and we want 00 to know that we're all pulling for him. Get better, Mr. Raider. No one better than that man, 00 Jim Otto.
What a great Raider. I think of the Oakland Raiders, you think of a lot of people, and he's certainly one of them.
No question about that. Play action. Dragone looking long. Carr is there. And incomplete. Carr running step for step with Sloan Thomas.
They kind of lost sight of him. He turned around just in time, though, to prevent pass interference, to look for the ball.
Well, you see Norv Turner liked it. He stepped on the field to give him a high five.
Did a good job.
Well, I'll tell you, Carr has done a wonderful job, not only in the games, but in practice of impressing people. Punt returner, special teams guy in terms of covering kicks, and also playing defensive back.
All right, it's 2nd down and 10 with the football on the Houston 42. Morency cuts back, and he's across the 45 to the 46-yard line. Johnson in there on the stop. Had some help. Tim Johnson, every time he's in the game, he seems like he's got his hat on the football.
Yeah, he certainly does.
Randy Moss, who had a couple of catches in the first half. But right now, 3rd down and 6. We're in the 4th quarter. We approach the 10-minute mark, and the Raiders leading 17-13. They've had the lead from the start. That first drive of the football game, Collins to Gabriel. Now Ragone, complete. First down, Sloan Thomas on the catch, and he's to the 38-yard line of the Raiders.
I'll tell you, Dave Ragone is a good football player. Jim, you talked about some of his accomplishments in NFL Europe. He was a 3rd-round pick out of the University of Louisville who throws the ball every down. So this guy is accustomed to an NFL-style offense. He's just been banged up a little bit.
So the football on the Raiders 39 on a 1st and 10. Morency. Not much. Maybe 2-3 yards on the play.
Yeah, but you're right, Artie. He looks very comfortable back there.
Yes.
He reads the field very well, looking for his receiver to come open. He had excellent protection on that last throw, which gave him time to find his receiver.
Ed Jasper again on the stop for the Raiders. 2nd down and 9.
Again, some of the younger Raider defenders in the game. Is the second nickel package.
And Morency to the 35-yard line.
Number 57 makes the tackle, Ryan Riddle, a 6th-round pick out of the University of California from Southern California. He's a pass rusher at Cal.
3 yards on the carry. And another 3rd down conversion upcoming for the Texans, who trail in this one 17-13. 8:30 left, 4th quarter. And we're going out of the shotgun. Pressure. And he did nice to just throw it away, but good pursuit there by the Raiders. And getting there first for the Raiders defensively was Ryan Riddle.
You know, I was just talking about him. The Pac-10 last year in sacks. He's a guy that can play a lot of different positions. Linebacker, defensive end, but that's athletic right there.
Right it is.
Of jumping over a would-be blocker, especially a back, and of performing pressure, getting pressure on the quarterback.
Well, we are going to see another long attempt. The last one by Janikowski, no good. This is going to be 53 yards for Chris Brown. Make it officially a 54-yard attempt. And it's no good. Well, I beg your pardon, a curve back. That ball curved at the last minute, Artie.
And there's no wind in this place.
Plus, did you see that ball curve at the last minute?
I did.
Unbelievable.
Very impressive, but he knows his aiming spot.
Wow.
He knows what his kick is going to do.
That ball at the last 10 yards went right inside the upright. It's a 1-point game.
Okay, Trevor, let me explain the matrix one more time. The blue yarn applies to expenses. The green is office supplies, and the red is inventory.
So, how do you add up each category?
Trevor, the matrix is not perfect.
There's an easier way to track your expenses. Get the Visa Business Card. Use it for all your business needs and get one detailed statement every month.
We should never speak of this.
Visa Business. It's everywhere you want your business to be.
Want to get away? Now you can. Fly on Southwest Airlines with our $39 to $149 internet specials to 60 destinations coast to coast. Purchased by September 8th.
You are now free to move about the country.
Sport is sport. A foul's a foul. And a bat's a bat, even if it's flat. 10 feet on the west side is 10 feet on the east side. Football is football. Unless it's all. Now a win's a win, a loss is a loss. But no matter what, you better come with it. Because it's 90 feet to first, no matter where home is.
All right, we got to look at that kick again. This was unbelievable.
You know, this looked like it was going to be bad now. Watch when it gets up in here. Right about right there, Grant. It looks like it's going to go over there. It looks like Ken Fouts, our director's golf hit. Look, this thing comes back in.
Yeah, it's outside.
It looked like it was on a string.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
Unbelievable. Another Nebraska guy. The luck of the Cornhuskers.
All right, Stone on the return. Gets a block to the outside, and he's across the 35, 36-yard line. Nice run back by John Stone.
I was talking about him before. Youngster out of Wake Forest. He is fast. When he's got the ball or when he's walking down the street, this guy is fast.
Raiders ball up 1.
America's favorite home gym is more affordable than ever. Now you can get the all-new Bowflex Extreme for just $19 a month. Call the number on your screen for a free DVD or video and check it out. Bowflex's Power Rod technology delivers results. Powerful arms, defined legs, stronger chest, and a toned, sexy core. And owning a Bowflex home gym is so affordable. Great results are easy with a new Extreme. All it takes is one simple workout, 20 minutes a day, 3 times a week, to get in the best shape of your life. The Extreme is built so well that we back it with an unrivaled 7-year warranty. And so effective, it comes with Bowflex's 100% satisfaction guarantee. Through this special offer, you can own one with no money down and just $19 per month. You can't get this Bowflex deal anywhere else. Call us for DVD or video, or visit us online and find out how to get your Bowflex for just $19 a month today.
It starts on the field.
It's about teamwork.
It's about participation.
It's the lessons learned when I was 7.
That made me who I am today.
It's about friendships. It's about me.
Whether you're a parent, coach, or player, we're all part of the game.
Celebrate Play Football Month and be a part of the football family.
Tonight, NFL Total Access at 7. Inside Training Camp, Seahawks at 8. Playbook at 9 on NFL Network.
Well, next weekend, the Raider Nation celebration, guys, and already that is going to be a lot of fun during the 4 hours on August 28th.
August the 28th on Sunday at the Coliseum. It's a organization, the Raider organization is putting this on. It features zones, Raiderettes, autographs, Raider legends, and a demonstration for about an hour by the 2005 Oakland Raider football team. It'll be a lot of fun. If you're a PSL holder, it's for free. Everyone else, it's only $5, and that includes parking. Come out and have a great time with the 2005 Oakland Raiders.
And Justin Fargas stopped on a very short gain. Actually lost a little bit.
Loss of a yard. Second down and 11.
So 2nd down and 11 for the Raiders, who lead now by just a point. 7 minutes, 35 seconds left. Tuiasosopo still the quarterback. John Stone in motion. The fake to Fargas. Tui looks across the field. It's Fargas. And he's to the 45-yard line. Justin Fargas, high of the 1st down. Well, let's check out our text messaging and see how it's going. Who you think should be the next Raider to go into the Hall of Fame. And Plunk, let's hope those fans are right. 68%. Just text message 86212 now from your cell phone. And the Jack in the Box text message vote. Really, we talked about Cliff Branch earlier. Ray Guy, I mean, everybody knows he's as good as any punter that's ever kicked in the National Football. Fargas lowers the head, and he is across midfield, has the 1st down. An important 1st down there as the clock continues to move with 6.5 left. Well, you know, again, we have talked about this, and I thought the numbers we showed earlier on Cliff Branch, very interesting. He's got better numbers than some receivers already in the Hall. I mean, look at the coaches, Flores and Madden. I mean, how can you argue with that? Ray Guy, we talked about, and Plunk, I know you're not going to talk about yourself. You don't have to. The fans are doing it for you. They think you deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. You know, a lot of the guys certainly do, and, you know, the Raider organization, Al Davis in particular, you know, are pulling for these guys to get in there. The delay to Fargas, and he is stopped right at the line of scrimmage. There is a penalty marker down at the 42-yard line. You know, Grant, I think actually Tuiasosopo fumbled that snap from center, fell on the ground. He had to pick it up. It messed up the entire play.
Of it. Yep. Timing got thrown off a little bit. And we have to remember it's preseason, excuse me, Grant, for the officials also. Absolutely. Which at times creates some confusion.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on the defense, number 97, for disconcerting the signals of the quarterback. We'll add 15 yards to the end of the run. 1st down.
Boy, you don't hear that every Sunday or Saturday in the National Football League.
You know
Disconcerting?
Disconcerting? How about just messing with the signals? That's what the thing is, and you know, you sometimes some of these young defensive players, they just have to understand. And Dom Capers, being a defensive specialist, will make Jason Davis, the man who was called for the infraction, understand that. Now, Capers is not real happy with the officials.
See, guys, what I'm impressed at is that we are in a different zip code from where the playing field is. You both could see that Tui fumbled that football, fell out. I mean, I like, and Plunk, especially you, man, that was very impressive. You know, I mean, no problem. Saw it right away, and we are about as far away as you can be from a football field.
Usually I'm focusing on the quarterback.
Yes, you are. All right, so it's 1st and 10 at the Texans 32. Raiders looking to add on to their 1-point lead. Vargas with the spin. And he is close to the 26-yard line. And the clock moves with 5:20 left. So how high are we here?
We are way
at
up
Reliance Stadium.
$425 million to build this building. You think they could have putting a TV booth for the visitors in preseason, as we are there, okay, somewhere a little closer to the field. Our director, Ken Fouts, told me just to stand up. Very funny. Very funny.
All right, here we go. Tui, Vargas. And he is across the 25 down to the 24-yard line.
You know, Grant and Jim, you talk about this place. It's the NFL's first retractable roof. It's the first removable grass field in the NFL.
Which is incredible.
It's really incredible.
The field is basically on what you call mods or grids, and it's amazing. You can actually see it when you walk on it. You can probably see it from here a little bit. It's in squares, and they can just take the field out piece by piece by piece. 3rd down and 2. Ball right at the 25. And they got Tui Sissoko. So they're backed up a little bit. Kenneth Petway out of Grambling State. Chamberlain, they all got in there, but it was Frank Chamberlain out of Boston College, the man that got through the block of Justin Fargas.
And Justin Fargas is not that big a man. He had a tough time, you know, making that block. And consequently, the sack occurred on Tui Sissoko.
Artie, you coached special teams for a long time in the NFL. Am I making too much out of having a different holder when you're used to one guy?
Absolutely not. I think that was vital, and I thought it was a great point you brought up before.
And same area, same miss for Janikowski.
Grant, 2 hooks. Grant, the snapper, the holder, and the kicker have to be one. And when one of those components gets removed, the timing is different, and that's not to blame it on Tui in any way.
No, absolutely
because
not.
The holds seem to be okay, but it is a little bit different. Now you take a look at this. He gets the ball, he gets it down on time, and it looks like the steps and the follow through by Seabass are pretty good. But he just hits it a little bit too low, and obviously becomes a line drive, and he knew it from the minute he left his foot by the expression on his face.
All right, let's get to the sidelines and George Atkinson.
Guys, I'm with the Raiders' #1 draft choice in 2003. Sat out 2 years before he became a starter this year. Nnamdi Asomugha. Talk about, man, watching the game for 2 years from the bench. Now you got a chance to start.
Yeah, I mean, it's helped me out a lot, you know, being able to watch it and see what actually goes on. And now being on the field is the biggest part, you know, because you got to play now. And, you know, and that's coming, you know, gradually. So that's coming on well pretty much right now.
What's the toughest thing you've had to learn?
Just, I guess, reading receivers. You know, it's kind of been okay reading the offenses, but reading what a receiver does is probably the hardest thing, you know, because he can change his route at any moment, and it's tough for a corner to stay with him, you know.
Now, you talk about the defense. How complicated was it for you to pick up, and what's the toughest thing about the defense that you have to learn?
Well, it wasn't that complicated to pick up. You know, pretty much we all have it down. You know, Coach Robbie's put together a good scheme that it wasn't too hard. The players could play and, you know, be themselves. The hardest thing about it, I guess, is pretty much gelling as a unit, you know, trying to get the calls right and everybody playing together. That's been the hardest thing, but it's coming along now. This is our 2nd year in it, so we're doing pretty good now.
Hey, man, thanks for your time. And I said he didn't start at all last year. I correct myself. 7 starts last year, guys.
Yeah, you're shorting me. I mean, I'm trying to give me a break out here, but my 3rd year.
Well, see, I coached him for a little bit, so I can
Trying game. That's right. We go way back. So.
Way back. Thank you, guys. All
right, George. Appreciate it.
All right.
And with 2:28 left, you heard the fans booing. They did not like that last play call. And football is close to the first down marker. Now, remember, it's a one-point game with 2:28 left here in the fourth quarter, and they're going to bring the sticks out for a measurement.
You know, knowing Don Capers and mostly defensive guys gamble like this, if they don't make it, they're going to go for it here. Why not?
Oh, absolutely.
You got 2 minutes, 28 seconds left. And
especially when you're at home.
Especially when you're at home. And it doesn't look like they're going to make it. So I would say that they're definitely going to go for it and try to move the ball down the field and kick the winning field goal.
Yeah, plus Chris Brown, you know, just showed how far he can kick that ball. So.
Absolutely. Take a look at Rob Ryan signaling in the defense.
Now remember, the Raiders have already stopped the Texans once tonight on a 4th and 1. Let's see what they do here. Fans getting excited. 2:28 left. Ragone comes in after talking with the coaches on the side. Morency, the second man in the backfield. Morency. And it depends on where they put that knee down. He scooted forward. It looks like they're going to give him the first down. It is a first down right at the 50.
Again, we've said this last week, or we said it tonight. It's great work in these abnormal situations, both for the offense and for the defense.
And that gets us to the 2-minute warning. And a 1-point game as we're going down to the wire here in Houston on the Oakland Raiders television network.
2-minute warning.
Starting Monday, August 29th, get into the thrilling Inside the Classified and go beyond imagination. National Geographic Channel's most amazing, adventurous premieres. Daring specials. Most amazing starts Monday, August 9 on the National Geographic Channel. Dare to explore. Available on Channel 276.
When so many little things go wrong, it's good to know some of the big things won't. Like the HP Pavilion Notebook. It has a warranty longer than most. And tech help that actually helps. Call now to get an HP Pavilion Notebook with Intel Centrino mobile technology for just $8.99. Plus a free HP printer and free shipping. HP Pavilion Notebooks. Brilliantly simple.
Hi, I'm Dom Capers, and you're watching NFL Network.
Well, the Raiders will kick off the NFL season at the Patriots, then back home Sunday night against the Chiefs. Plunk, I mean, you've been in a lot of big games, but man, if you're Kerry Collins, you got to love the fact that you're going to open up not only the season, but the National Football League season on the road at the World Champs.
Yeah, you've got to be excited about it. No matter what your record was a year ago, got renewed optimism coming into this season. He's playing so much better at this point of the preseason already. He's got a firmer grip on the Raiders like to do offensively. He's worked with North Turner the entire offseason, so he's got a really good understanding of the offense. And that's what you want to do, you know. You want to play the best teams that you can play and come out on top. And, you know, not only are we playing the Patriots, but they have to play the Raiders.
That's a good point. Raiders come up on the line of scrimmage, now back off. 1st and 10 right at the 50. And Morency is bottled up right at the line of scrimmage. Nice job there by the Raiders up front.
You know, Ryan Riddle is an active player. You take a look at him, he's 6'2", about 260 pounds. But when the game starts, just like he was at the University of California, he's always around the football. He's a productive, active football player.
All right, clock moving down to 1.5 minutes. 2nd down and 10. And Ragone, the quarterback. Ragone barking out instructions. And the Raiders were coming. Flag down.
And Ragone read the blitz,
yes,
changed the play at the line of scrimmage because he saw the blitz coming.
73. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
And the Raiders defense creating the false start by the Texans. As you said already in Plunky Song, they're all bunched up on the line of scrimmage, and so now it's going to be 2nd and 15, and they're back into their own territory at the 45-yard line.
And the Raiders did a lot of moving around. They weren't even sure the defense themselves, I think, for a while. So it had to confuse Ragone.
Ragone, the third quarterback for the Texans a year ago. Third quarterback tonight. Carr, Banks, and then Ragone. Quick pass, slant, has his man, look out. Thomas, and Thomas is in to field goal range, the 32-yard line with 1:09 left.
Same thing, a slant pattern called against the blitz. And you're going to see him get inside of Carr. Carr slips. As a result, receiver ends up gaining another 10, 12 yards.
And a 30-second timeout. The football inside the 35. It's down at the 33-yard line. So right now it would be a 51-yard attempt for a very good kicker in Chris Brown. Kerry Collins, if you were not around for the first half, 18 of 18 for 191 yards. He threw 2 touchdowns, one a 70-yarder to Doug Gabriel. On the first drive of the game, he hooked up with Gabriel on a short pass. But Kerry Collins, an outstanding first half for the Silver and Black.
And the Raiders right now are looking for somebody on that defensive line to come up with a big play, show the coaches what they've really got and how they perform in these clutch situations. Somebody to stand out.
Chris Brown warming up on the sideline. 1:09 left.
Raiders had 12 guys on the field.
And now they have to timeout.
12 guys in
timeout. Oakland. That's their first team timeout. It'll be a 30-second timeout.
Let me just explain this. This happens sometimes in preseason.
Sure.
Because you have a lot of young players. You're trying to play some nickel and dime defenses. Sometimes guys don't hear which group is in. A guy gets hurt, somebody's got to replace him. So at times it can be very confusing because of the amount of people on the field. Now, speaking of young guys, here's a young guy for you. Run Jones.
Hey, too bad we can't put him into the Hall of Fame.
I know. He probably is.
He's certainly a fixture around the Raiders camp, that's for sure.
Run, a long time equipment man here, an assistant equipment man at the Oakland Raiders, and ex-roller derby guy.
Plunk, I know even when you played and even before that, I mean, everybody loves run, don't they?
Absolutely.
All right, here we go. The football at the 33. Morency in at running back. Texans down a point. Morency over left tackle. And a nice job. Gain of 1 on the play. Stopped by Corsi in his first year out of Columbia, Michael Corsi.
Timeout, Oakland. That's their second team timeout. Please put the game clock at 1:04. 1:04.
You know, Corsi's an interesting guy. He's, like you said, from Columbia. The Raiders signed him as a free agent, but he was born in Helsinki, Finland, and he played Helsinki Roosters. You're looking at me like I'm lying. I'm serious. That's true. And he led his team, the Roosters, to the Maple Bowl.
Well, Norv Turner happy with that first string offense early. And it was Collins and Gabriel. Here's the first touchdown on the opening drive of the football game. And a nice job to take it away from the defender, 7-0. And then Collins, 70 yards. Gabriel outruns the defense. And a catch, able to keep his stride. And that 70-yard hookup, the second touchdown pass from Collins to Doug Gabriel. That was impressive. And again, flags come flying with 1:03 left. And this figures again to be on the Texans, which will make this field goal attempt a little bit longer should they not advance the ball.
Being snapped, we had a false start on the offense, number 17. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
And we talk about the receivers. We haven't seen Ronald Curry in a game yet. Hopefully he's closer to returning. And then, of course, we had Jerry Porter talking with George Atkinson. And Porter hopefully will be able to get back to action soon. And you really want to talk about, and they said it, but one of the top receiving corps in the National Football League, starting with Randy Moss. All right, 63 seconds left, and it's second down and 13. Morency cuts back. And a short gain on the play. Brock Williams, second-year player out of Notre Dame, with a hard hit. And the Texans.
Oakland. That's their third and final timeout. It'll be a 30-second timeout.
Now looking at a 3rd and 8 timeout, Raiders, with 59 seconds left.
You know, my guess would be either a safe pass or keeping it on the ground to get within a little bit closer for field goal range for Chris Brown.
I like this strategy by the Raiders, using their timeouts so that if the Houston Texans do make a field goal, they'll have some time to get the football back and get in the field goal range.
Which is why, Jim, what Grant just said, I think that they'll run the ball, because you don't want to chance an incomplete pass, have the clock, and give the Raiders, say, 45 seconds in which to operate. So, again, I know Dom Capers very well. Just his defensive mentality about things tells me they would run the ball here.
Well, as we just heard, the Raiders out of timeouts. Ball at the 31. Morency, and he gets to the 28. So I figure right about a 45-yard field goal attempt.
Well within the range of Brown.
Yep.
Well range.
Of course, 45 seconds on the clock. There was only going to be a difference of 12 seconds when the clock gets down to 0 on the play clock. So not a lot of time left for the Raiders, as the Texans are going to milk this all the way down and then call a timeout. The football is at the 28. So it's going to be a 45-yard attempt for Chris Brown to basically win the football game.
No, and this will, if they wind up winning this game tonight, it'll be only their second preseason victory at Reliant Stadium.
This is the 5th year of the franchise. Last year, 7 wins and 9 losses for Dom Capers.
Timeout, Houston. It's their second team timeout. It'll be a 30-second timeout.
Texans were in a lot of games last year. They just lost games coming down the wire. They could not close out the door. And here's an opportunity for the Raiders to come up with a big special teams play.
And Joe Avezzano, last year the Denver game was won when they blocked the field goal. Langston Walker did at the end of the game. Joe Avezzano saying, hey, we got to get some push up the field. Everybody's got to get their hands, stay on sides. We don't want to give them another opportunity. And let's try to block this thing.
Well, it's the Raiders and the Cardinals. The Raiders with their first preseason home game. Next Friday, we'll have it for you on the Oakland Raiders television network, 6:30. Here we go, Chris Brown. 46-yard attempt. And it's good. And the Texans have their first lead of the night with 8 seconds left.
Well, he drilled that one. That one wasn't a curveball. That one went straight down, and he had ice on that one.
So 8 seconds left. And another look at Chris Brown.
Good snap, good hold. Ball just drilled. Again, an experienced kicker. Obviously, the pressure's different in the regular season than it is during the preseason, but it's a good learning experience for everybody, offensively and defensively.
So the Houston Texans convert on their fourth quarter field goals. The Raiders don't. And that's the difference in the football game right now at 19-17 with 8 seconds left.
You know, people say, well, it's only a preseason game. Well, you know what? A win is a win and a loss is a loss.
Right. These players want to go out there and come away with a victory. There's no doubt about it.
Absolutely.
But you also have to make progress, and believe me, the Raiders certainly have.
Boy, they sure have tonight, no question. I'll tell you, there are a lot of things that stick out at me tonight, and the game's not over yet. But I like to start with Lamont Jordan, because that's a whole new look that this football team did not have last year.
Right.
And you can see the difference that he makes in this offense for the folks that watched in the first half. He did it on the ground. He did it via the air. If the Raiders' Chris Carr can make something happen. And with 3 seconds left down at 2, he's at the 20-yard line.
No, all you can do now is just throw it up for grabs as deep as you can throw the football.
And of course, you'll see the defense of the Texans in a prevent defense.
They'll be about on our yard line, you mean?
They'll be right about here on the 5-yard line from our vantage point.
Raiders will right after the ball game and get ready for the game Friday against Arizona. 6:30 right here on the Raiders television network. Then Sunday, of course, the big Raiders celebration from 12 to 4.
Timeout, Houston. That's their third and final timeout. It'll be a 30-second timeout.
Well, Houston wants to talk things over with 3 seconds left.
Tom Capers obviously did not like what his defense had called, so he wants to give a few last-minute reminders.
It's probably also a reminder, since we are now talking about the frontline players, that whatever you do, do not commit a penalty.
And don't tip the ball up. Either catch the ball or knock it down.
Well, again, 6:30. The next telecast of the Oakland Raiders at home to take on the much improved Arizona Cardinals, according to the people that cover the National Football League. Denny Green with an up-and-coming team. We'll get a look at them next Friday. The Raiders will be glad to get back to the friendly confines of McAfee Coliseum.
Special thanks tonight to our for the night, Ken Fouts.
Absolutely.
Of network fame, Super Bowl fame.
Boy, what a formation defensively for the Texans. They've got 8 guys 40 yards away from the line of scrimmage. And it's not going to matter. It's over. So the Texans end the game with a sack and a last-second field goal by Chris Brown. The difference. And the final score, the Texans with 9 fourth-quarter points. And they beat the Raiders 19-10 here on the Oakland Raiders television network.